Hello, my beautiful listeners. It is the morning for us here in the Toonkind server, and we are coming to you live with a Toonkind at 12 FPS. Dead men leave no trails. I am noodle or pasta or udon or whichever variation thereof you wish to choose today. And, well, we'll see who I'm playing in a little bit. It's not going to be a big surprise. And once again, I am joined today by the wonderful, the lovely.
Ah, I Uno reverse card. But hello, everybody. I am Winona, and today I'm gonna be playing my little duo of Dakota and Phillip.
And these two have, well, they've certainly gotten some news, haven't they?
Yep, yes they have.
And they've been not quite following a trail, but they found something that can help them a whole lot
Hmm.
because they've met these birds before and they know what these birds do. So,
Yes.
how's that been going for them?
Say yes. I say they have been following the birds after them hearing, oh no, Juby may be still alive after all that time and all the shenanigans in paradise and everything.
Hmm.
But yeah, uh, yeah, they just been following the birds, giving them crumbs at times to like sort of thank them, even though they're still nervous about the birds because they know, hey, those are Raven's birds. But at the same time, their fear, their want to know if Jubilee Yukon is still alive is currently overriding that. If something happens along the way, they'll deal with it.
Hmm. And let's start it off. Roll me perception right away.
All right, sounds good.
Get our first roll of the game in here.
Yep. All right.
13. Yeah. One of the first things you would notice because, well, the last time you met with Jubilee
Mhm.
and the last time you saw Chat, those birds, well, there was a whole murder of them. There
Mhm.
was a lot following him.
Mhm.
And on the time you've been following them, there's been maybe at most 5 now. Really not a lot. That was a rare instance where it seemed like they didn't move for a while. Must have stopped somewhere, and there were 5, but you do recall that there was one that had a black pendant, and that one seems to stick around the most. It very
Mhm.
rarely leaves, so you've keyed into that one to follow.
Mhm.
And that one has been consistently moving about and seems to be on a trail in particular. And you're definitely able to spot it again as you are nearing the eastern part of UPA.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, definitely keyed on that bird. But where is a are we near a town? Are we out in the forest? As I follow this particular bird.
Mm, you're not by any particular towns, but you are by the big river that kind of acts as the border between UPA and the Ghibli Empire and Tezukonda. That
Hmm.
kind of general area.
Hmm. All right. Dakota is probably gonna make a stop. If the bird has slowed down or has stopped on its own, Dakota would probably make a stop to check for check her trails or tracks. If not, she's probably gonna do it while she's on Philip, or they are on Philip. I still need
Yeah,
my pronouns. I still need to get used to those. Again, people, this is my first they them character. Still getting used to it.
understandable. Roll some survival, why not?
All right.
The crow definitely isn't going as fast as it was before.
And Philip is gonna help out with that.
Yeah, Philip, help out.
Please, Philip. Please and thank you. Remind me what do I give you as a plus? Because that say survival is that's wisdom, so that would be a all right. That would be a 5.
Mhm.
All right. That yep. Philip knows
There
where.
we go. Philip's helpful.
Philip is very helpful. This horse has always been very helpful.
Hmm. Yeah, so you do pick up, in fact, boot prints that are walking along this road. It's definitely not a main road. It's one that is, again, it's unpaved. It's a little off the beaten path, often wanders close to the river, but eventually following where the crow is, though it seemed to slow down and it seems to be watching you a lot closer. You do start to see in the distance the smoke from a campfire.
Mm. Yeah. As I say, eventually probably Dakota sees this campfire and sort of also keeps an eye on the bird itself as they sort of like make it like they look at the campfire, look at the bird, look at the campfire, look at the bird. It's, they're a bit. They're just like they know who's again. They know who these birds follow. It's just like, but they say Philip is just like he checks on Dakota. He's like, "You okay?" And Dakota gives a little nod. Yeah. See the campfire? Yep, spotted it. Spotted it a while back. But you think we'll be all? What do you think about the bird? I rather if he does come around, we'll just have to figure it out. But for right now, all we know, we're just chasing a ghost. Uh,
You can always incite the bird
true.
if you would like.
Yes.
Because
Inside.
Dakota does know that these birds are a little smarter than your average.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Mm, the 9, that's enough to get something.
Mm. Fair. All right.
Um, you definitely know that you can recognize that this bird is a little bit puffed up and it's keeping its distance from you and Philip, but it always seems to be staying ahead of you, kind of like it's trying to be between you and where you're going.
Hmm. Dakota sees that. Usually, puffnuffness means aggression in animal terms, and Dakota is a little bit surprised, but they continue say they gently kick Phil, Philip just to give him a little motion to keep going forward as they continue to watch the bird, not in a non-threatening manner, as they're just like continue towards the campfire, try to make sure they're reading this bird right. Because
Mhm,
they have an idea of possibly why this bird is puffed up, but
mhm.
they want to
Roll
make sure.
perception again if you'd like,
Mhm.
because you are a lot closer now.
Mhm.
You're starting to see more of the camp. That's
Dang.
pretty good.
That's
That's
good.
pretty good. That's a dirty
Mhm.
20. Yeah, you can definitely see it's not the best setup. It definitely looks like someone who is inexperienced with camping. But the fire's pretty well made. And there's signs that someone has been here maybe a day or two. And as you start to break the tree line to the little clearing this camp is at, the crow from before squawks loudly, this almost echoing quality to the croak that it makes as it flies down and lands on the shoulder of a very tall tune with a long coat and a beanie and a white streak in his hair. And he laughs a bit and kind of like bats at the bird, though it stays soundly where it is, kind of narrowing its eyes as it keeps a lookout at you two and settles onto his shoulder. And you hear, "Oh, come on. I know. What has gotten into you? You don't usually do this. I don't have crumbs right now. I'm not sharing. You know I'm not sharing. You got a whole croissant from Leo. You're not getting more today."
Yeah, Dakota uh, looks at this person, and they silently get off. Say Philip as they don't cry automatically, thank God, but
Mm.
they even very hesitantly, like they're not even sure if like it's just like they are full of emotion right now. It's like Jubilee.
He sits up a lot straighter from where he was tending to the fire and seems to wince a bit like, oh, he wasn't expecting people. Turns on his heel, and that is definitely one Jubilee Yukon post redesign.
Yeah,
His eyebrows shoot up like, "Oh, Dakota, Philip, what are you two doing way out here?"
I'm gonna make another whiz save.
"Oh boy.
All right,
Not bad,
okay,
not bad."
not bad, but yeah, without reaction, Dakota just runs over and gives him a hug.
There's a slight oof as you collide with him and some amused laughter as he does hug you back, give a quick squeeze, like, "Oh, goodness. Well, that's not the reaction I was expecting."
Yeah, yeah. Even Dakota does not let go though from this hug. Like you feel their nails, their nails like dig into your back. It's like, damn it, Junie, damn it.
Ah,
What?
there it is.
God, God damn it! And they push you away. What the hell? What? Why did you fake your death?
Wait, what?
Ha-
Hold on. Wait, huh? What do you mean fake my death?
You're
Is
fucking
that the
still
story that's
alive!
going around?
I mean,
It,
what do I expect? I hear you're dead. I go right to paradise. I don't say not even a body. I and yet that then you show then I hear rumors that you're still alive and I follow the crows and then I find you and you're still alive. So why did the so I feel like that's a logical thing to make. Why in the hell did you fake your death?
uh, okay. Right. People would assume that, huh? Mm.
Yeah, there's a very stern Philip. You're without insight. You're pretty sure this horse would have just like not trample you, but he's just like he wants to give you a very firm talk.
Yeah, and that crow on his shoulder, again, it puffs up its feathers and clacks its beak and is glaring at Philip, and he pets it like, "No, calm down. Shush, hush. It's fine. I can handle myself." Well, I don't think this is going to be a short explanation, but I will tell you you're wrong. I didn't fake my death. That yeah, that would have been um a little bit beyond my capacity to do that one with all that happened. Yeah, yeah, don't think I could fake what I did or, the 2 weeks of where you could have gone there and found something because apparently I mean I've been reading the reports too. It's I suppose a bit narcissistic, but also I do need to know what I'm dealing with in regards to how poorly my reputation has been tanked. Um yeah, well, no, not faked. Did in fact die. But
How's that
do you want to
any
take a
better?
seat?
Yeah, Dakota has prayer hands. Like, how does that make me feel any better? You actually died? How the hell are you back? And they take a seat.
Yeah, what's Dakota's passive perception?
That say Baffa's perception is a 13.
Yeah. Even without needing to roll anything or get a really close look, you could tell there's a redesign. And you can also tell pointedly, just your eye keeps going back to it. That white streak in his hair that before might have just been, maybe some cool little design thing, or maybe he just thought that, it made him look dashing. No, that has spread to be a good chunk of his bangs now. And it just something about that seems important there as he goes to sit across the fire from you and stops a
Yeah.
moment and laughs at himself a bit, but
Dang it, I need to make
looks
another.
back. Go
No,
ahead.
sorry, say I'm making another. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dakota's gonna become a little bit more pale as they see that streak widen in particular.
Mhm. And do you want to roll me history or religion?
uh, prob. What's my say? Is religion based on? Uh, yeah, they're both the same. It's a straight
Mm,
D20.
Yep.
All right.
13. Okay, that's enough. To know some things, this has been seen before, but give me a specific which are you focusing on, history or religion? Because that gets you two different answers.
Probably history.
Yeah. So you know that this has been seen before with people who have had close calls and come back. It is very it's not exceedingly rare, but it's not common. Not really. And it's certainly not that big when it does happen when you've seen people like this. That is it almost looks twice the size for that streak. But you do know that's a sign of a very specific religious sects, an intervention from their goddess.
Yeah. Do you want to roll an insight on on Dakota, Juby?
Sure. That's a 19.
Oh, yeah. Dakota is. I say. Say. Need to make another whiz. I need to make another deception. I need to make a deception actually from
Mm,
Dakota.
yep.
That's a -1. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, hide Dakota's. hiding it not that bad, but upon realizing this is somewhat of a god thing, you could tell they're very, very uncomfortable about this. Even to
Hmm.
the with a 19, even to the point of a little bit of ang- they're showing actually a bit of anger, but it's not at Juby at all. He would
Hmm.
know for that for sure, but Dakota tries to swing away from that topic, so it's like, well, at least not entirely. Like, so what did happen?
That is an exceedingly loaded question, my friend.
I mean, yes, but
You'll need to be a little bit more specific as to the what happened because a lot of things have happened since then.
I mean,
I've 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 been a bit busy.
ugh.
He rubs the back of his neck, and the crow, for the first time, does turn away from Dakota and Philip to kinda, like, nuzzle at his cheek, and again is, like, pushed away a little bit, definitely fond. "Fine, fine."
Hmm. Dakota looks at the crow, looks at Juby.
You can
A
roll
bit,
insight.
yeah. Sight is. I always forget you're technically really good at insight.
Wise.
It's
Yeah, that's a 21. Yeah, no, you can tell for how Jubilee, like, ran away last time, this is very different, but he knew these crows. He knew these crows really well. And you can kind of understand why now when you see how he and this crow interact. They're very familiar. It's almost like they're old friends. And he is very fond towards this crow. And you realize it clicks for what this crow was doing before. It was being protective of him and trying to suss Dakota and Philip out and has definitely reacted negatively when you guys have started to get aggressive or shout at Jubilee. And it
well,
click yeah, it's trying to protect him.
Dakota sees this, recognizes this. It's just like, well, now you're giving me more questions, and maybe start with something simple. I can,
Right?
after observing that crow in particular, and from the last time I met that large murder, you seem to know
Yeah.
those crows. Honestly, that one seems very protective of you. So, let's say, how do you know these crows then? Since technically, again, you were being chased by the person who, well, owns them.
Well, I suppose chases has some connotations, doesn't it?
I mean, when you're running away from them.
Yeah, 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 and the crow does look annoyed and give a bit of a huff. Oh, hush. Well, this one is probably one of his oldest. It has stars. How long have you been around? And it looks away, kind of shuffles on his shoulder, and he laughs at it. I grew up with them. I know them quite well.
Alright, that leads me to my next question. Because I've been wanting to ask this for a while, but
Eh,
what's your relation with Raven?
that is the burning question, isn't it? Hmm.
Yep.
Well, uh, let's see. Oh, Juby. Yeah, Jubilee. Dang it. He thinks a minute on it. His expression doesn't seem to change. But he's thinking a little bit. And he shrugs, almost nonchalantly, like, definitely keeping a straight face, not letting much of anything show when he says, "I may have forgotten to mention that Raven is my father."
Yeah, no insight needed. Dakota is shocked, but then looks extremely worried and now showing more anger. Then what did he do to you? Why are you running away from him?
Take it
And
easy.
yeah, and there and again no insight. You've seen their back. They have
Yeah, no, there is a moment where he, like, almost reaches protectively towards the crow and then stops because the realization comes back to him of, "Oh, yeah, that's right, uh-oh." And immediately is, like, waving his hands like, "No, no, 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 nothing like that, not at all. No, stars, no, he was not like that at all. Complete disservice to even assume. No, 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 no. He did nothing to me at all. I This was on me. This was wholly on me, Dakota. Don't blame him. No, he's been trying to, I mean, as I said, I think he wants to talk to me or bring me home, but I couldn't face him. It's on me. This is wholly on me being unable to face whatever reaction he may have to the fact that I may have run away. I did run away without a single word for 5 years. So, you let something pile up and you uh, don't really know what to expect and you don't want to face any disappointment or worse if he cries I might yeah, that would be bad. I don't think I'd handle that one good.
yeah, and the more you're saying about this, Dakota relaxes more and more back to where they originally were because yeah, they assumed the worst, but he's like but after hearing like that it's just like okay. So you ran away and you've been on your own, I'm guessing, until more recently.
Yeah. It's about start how long? About a week and a half ago. Um my my past came storming back to find me.
And
And
you
he
did,
does kind of laugh at himself with that one,
yeah,
knowing somewhere someone is probably wincing at the pun he just made.
yeah. And Dakota, like her hands tight into little fists, and you didn't try to contact us.
I well,
You didn't think that we wouldn't come running, that we wouldn't come to help you. And they're becoming a little bit angrier again.
oh god, and Juby is trying to keep his poker face, but that one's a rough one. Still managing.
Yeah,
You can try and roll insight if you want, both Dakota and Philip.
yeah.
Take that 18 because that was disadvantage.
All right.
Oh.
And Philip, what do you have, my
Mhm.
boy?
Mm.
Also gonna make another whiz for Dakota.
Mhm.
This one with disadvantage.
Yep.
And no, I say all right. Plus, I think I had this. Okay, they're
continue.
still holding it together.
Hmm.
They look. They say they're still holding it together, but just barely.
And Dakota doesn't quite notice, which is fitting because Dakota's been getting worked up. Philip notices there's a definite worry to the crow's body language as Jubilee kind of sits up a little straighter and looks almost like he did when he was sitting at that poker table in the casino and goes, "Well, I mean, I didn't expect you all to go searching when a villain fell." And
D-
there's despite his how he's doing pretty decent, there is a bit of a shake to his hands
yeah,
as he keeps fidgeting with his gloves.
yeah. Philip sees this body language, and and he, oh boy, his ears go back. They say he stands up and goes straight over to Juby and stares right at him. He's just like, he knows what game you're trying to play, and Philip is having none of it.
He leans back and the crow does hiss very angrily at Philip.
And
She just kind of
yeah,
tries to
Philip,
push his face away, like, easy.
yeah, and Philip even looks at the crow and gives a little nip at, not trying to actually hurt it, but is like, watch it, I can hold myself too. Philip, back off. As Dakota goes over there and just gently, just like uses their shoulder to like nudge Philip away.
Yeah, that's about what I expected. Yup, you didn't really didn't like me much before, did you? Nope.
Philip, say Philip gives him sort. Philip actually shakes his head. It seems to be talking a little bit, and
Mhm,
Dakota sighs. You're wrong about that. He's actually always liked you, but he has his own
mhm.
way of showing it.
And, I'll carry that through those previous roles. Julie, more of that poker face drops a bit, and he seems genuinely surprised by that. Like, "Wait, what do you mean?" I mean, he didn't like I heck. Ugh, heck. I'm doing the thing again, aren't I? I'm supposed to stop that. I'm supposed to stop that. And he kind of like tucks his forehead with the palm of his hand, like frustrated gesture. And
We've always sort of always somewhat new. I mean, you might have been a bad guy before, but you weren't a bad guy, Juby.
yeah, apparently everyone but me has been realizing. Almost everyone. Of course.
Almost.
Almost. Um, Long story. Don't worry about it. We're working on it.
Dakota just looks at him, crosses their arms, and definitely gives a cock of the eyebrow. A very, oh, please do tell gesture.
Um, and this time the crow does seem to turn on him a little bit and give him the very same look of judgment. Looks back at it and clicks his tongue and kind of rolls his eye. So I'm not exactly getting along with one of my younger siblings at the moment. We're working on it.
Oh, you have siblings? And Dakota softens at that.
Why is everyone surprised when I have siblings? Yes, yes, I do. Oh,
I
th-
mean, I'm a only child, so at least as far as I know, that bastard might have knocked some other woman up, but I don't really
ugh.
care.
Yeah, well, I mean, by biological technicality, same. But found families, a hell of a thing, isn't it?
I wouldn't know. I'm not a part of any.
There's a pause. There's a pause. You want to roll some insight?
Yeah. Yeah. Dakota is thick too.
Mm-hmm. Mm, that's a 20. There is a there's a definite look on his face and a look the crow gives him in response to his pause that you can probably infer might have been something along the lines of him stopping himself from saying not officially.
Dakota clocks that, and their their expression actually saddens a bit, and they cross their arms, sort of like protecting themselves, and slightly turns away. I mean, it's a good thing too. I'm not good with family.
Yeah, considering your past experience, I don't doubt that things might be a bit rocky.
Yeah. Anyways, how old? I'm curious. How old is your younger sibling, and do you have more?
Well, apparently I've been told I have a big family. I didn't quite realize it. I mean, one of them just always came and went all the time. The other one, uh, let's see. How to put it? How to put it? Well, I do think I got him to finally admit that he's my big brother unofficially. Um, so I have an older brother who is probably somewhere cringing and getting very frustrated and just doesn't know why. It's probably happening. Uh, I have two younger brothers now. Um, they're both 16.
Huh. Same age as me. What are their names?
There's a pause as he hears the same age thing, and it's like, oh God, I've created a trend. Um, but he gets a very fond smile on his face, and he says, "Leo and Timmy. I'm not getting along with Timmy right now, but that one that one is understandable. Leo's newer.
Ah.
Um, that kid needed someone to look after him because he's a disaster, and if I say that, that's saying something because he is almost as bad as I was, which is concerning."
Yeah, that's an understatement. And Dakota does give a little smile at that.
You don't have to agree with me, I'm well aware, but you don't need to, you know, batter the ego anymore.
If you say so.
Ugh.
As Dakota actually goes to sit beside Juby.
Mhm. And he stays put, and the crow kind of hops to the shoulder that is opposite where Dakota's sitting, but it doesn't seem to be rude. It's more trying to like get out of the way as Juby turns to face them. And Stars, who's younger. Nita must be 6 now. Oh, the heck, she's 6. I haven't seen her since she was a baby. And well, there's also Aria, kind of a bit same standing as I.
I remember her. I know.
I may have, again, same standing as I considered you, just a bit.
Mm.
He kind of rushes that one as
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
rubs the back of his neck.
yeah, Dakota. Yeah, you definitely see the reaction of Dakota as they look a bit shocked and they turn away. It's just like I I see. Honestly, you don't have to. There is no need to become attached to me. I'm not good with family.
Yeah, you see, there's this thing about attachments is they're going to happen whether you want them to or not, because apparently even the divine have noticed that I'm how did she say it? How did she say it? An open heart problem? A bit. I I get attached a little bit easily when it comes to some people.
I don't I don't fucking care what the divine say. They've
He
abandoned me long ago.
he winces at that one and roll some perception.
Wait, what's your perception? Okay. Yep.
18. Yeah, you can definitely see the crow kind of. It doesn't puff up this time, but it does seem to almost sharpen in outline and gives you a very hard look as Jubilee goes to a chain at his hip, a very shiny golden chain that is much nicer than anything you saw on him before. And even now, it seems to be one of the nicest things on his person. As at the end of that chain, he grabs for a pocket watch as you say the divine have abandoned you. And he kind of grabs it almost on instinct, like he wasn't sure it'd still be there and had to check, and just kind of goes, well, even if you don't think they have a hand in things, eh, keep an eye on everyone, even those who don't want them to or don't think they deserve it.
I don't. I'm sorry. And Dakota just sort of rubs at their face. It's just like, sorry, I don't have the best relationship with the gods. Just because of the fact where when you're a child and you've prayed to whatever God will listen to you to get you out of that situation and nothing responds, you sort of become a little bit jaddy yourself. I don't blame you at all. And say I'm glad they at least showed some favor with you because I couldn't. I just and they start crying. I don't have
Hey,
many.
hey, kid, hey, easy. And there is a hand that is going to your shoulder, comforting weight that kind of squeezes as Dakota starts to cry.
I don't have many good things left in my life. I I I don't I when you were gone God and they wipe their hand across their face trying to get rid of the tears but they just keep coming.
Hey, easy. Let's see. Can he pull this out? Oh, that's a close one.
Yeah, that was a close one.
Mhm. But he does like pull out a handkerchief and like hand it over to help, Dakota wipe away the tears. You have a feeling it might be stolen, probably, but it's in decent condition.
Yeah, Dakota takes it.
Just easy. It's our. I get it. I absolutely get where you're coming from, kid. I. Heck. Ugh. And he flounders a bit for the words because. Oh no. He does know where they're coming from. Oh no. Kind of settles on being there as support while they get those tears out.
Yeah, it takes them a bit. And even
Hmm.
Philip has to go over and lay his head on on Dakota's lap. And
Hmm.
Dakota just instinctively starts petting his mane.
Hmm. And that time the crow definitely does settle down and kind of hop back over to the other shoulder. And does seem definitely does seem a bit worried about Dakota too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Dakota just stay. Yeah, if the crow is hopping over, they're gonna try to give it scritches, but it's definitely a slow hand, so the crow can back away if they wanted to.
It actually leans into it, like bumps Dakota's hand with its head.
Dakota gives a smile at that and definitely gives the crow scritches then.
Hmm. It's a very smart crow. It is. And it definitely will stay within reach, much like Philip does, until Dakota seems more okay. Then it
Yeah,
hops back to that opposite shoulder.
yeah. Again, it takes them a little bit, but they eventually like straighten up a little bit.
Hmm. Got it all out?
Uh, we'll see, but for right now, yeah.
Yeah, that seemed like a cry that needed to happen. Been bottling things up a bit?
That's a light way of putting it.
Yeah. Look, I say this as someone who is currently learning this lesson, and it's a very hard one to learn because you don't see it when you're in the middle of it. Because sometimes you don't want to see it. Because sometimes it's a lot easier to, even if it's making you miserable, it's easier to not see things that would help. But there's probably a lot more good around you than you realize.
Dakota.
And go
Sorry.
on.
No, I say you go.
No, you go. I was just going to tack on something not
Yeah,
important.
Dakota. No, I say Dakota just looks away from Juby. That's all I want to say.
Hmm. He does gently squeeze their shoulder again. I mean, back then, it wasn't even that long ago. It feels like ages, but when we met, I I wouldn't put it past Karis or Arya either to have been a bit fond of their fellow adventurers on that quest. Arya is certainly bubbly and ugh, heck, she's very new to the world. Very new to the world. Does not
Yeah.
know as much. Not jaded. It was good to be around her. I'm pretty sure if you wanted, you could. I mean, you found me. Could probably find her again, and she'd likely be delighted to see you. Karis is a bit harder to read, but
Yeah, had some
there's
great
mischief in that kid.
Yeah, I kind of agree there. He is a bit hard to read, but I say I kind of respect them for that.
Hmm. I mean, they were definitely pretty good about combat and, also did not fall into the tower. So that did gain them some bonus points, just a few.
Yeah, we were a bit clumsy, weren't we? And Dakota laughs genuinely.
Uh, just a bit. I mean, everything turned out pretty well, surprisingly.
Yeah, I was surprised to see you riding Philip. He's naturally never really let anyone else ride him.
Oh,
Yeah, Philip.
there's a look at Philip like, huh?
Yeah, Philip turns his head away a little bit. Yeah,
Hmm.
only to only is let me, but I guess since I was in trouble and you were there to help, he let ya.
It was very cool. I mean, last time when you were there, well, you were rude, looking at Philip, and made me fall, prick.
Philip just gives a smirk at that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That whole adventure did was pretty cool. I might incorporate that into one of my songs. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe.
Yeah.
I, mhm.
Yeah.
See, what have I got to write now? Just little ditties, things that'll get a bit of coin in taverns. That adventure's a good one. That was a really good one. Whatever that skeletal robot snake lady thing was.
Yeah.
Eh,
It
I
was.
could come up with a better descriptor than that.
Yeah. That steel serpentine definitely was fun to fight.
Hmm. That one. And let's see. Do you know anything about phantom thieves?
Uh, let's see. Does Dakota know anything about Phantom Thieves?
Sure, I'd say
Probably
history,
history?
maybe?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
straight D20.
9.
Dakota shakes her head. Not really. No.
Ah, well, they are a bit like, I mean, myself. I probably would qualify as, what's the archetype? A lovable rogue. Bit like that.
Alright.
But don't debate it. I'm right. I know I'm right. Don't debate it. Let me have this.
Alright, continue on then.
Phantom thieves are a bit in that same vein. They have their shtick of a cool costume and sending calling cards and stealing mm, mainly priceless or very, very valuable things. It's all a bit of aesthetics. Very, very high aesthetics.
Sounds.
And I may have something to write about being one of the first to foil a certain phantom thief in Villestown.
Oh, that sounds definitely like a tale. Yeah, it sounds a bit counterproductive, but maybe that's just because I'm a real kind and I don't exactly get it.
Hmm? What do you mean you don't get it?
I mean, Phantom Thief sounds like a cool title, but if you're not really thievering, what's the point of being called a Phantom Thief?
Well, I mean, ugh. The one that I in particular know, Phantom L, does steal art from museums. That's stealing. Apparently, there's a few others I've needed to look into, perhaps, just because so I know these things. I
Hmm.
don't like not knowing things. It's very helpful when I do know things, and that's a bit interesting. So things are stolen. Things are definitely stolen. I just happened to make sure this one did not steal anything on a certain heist.
So you were the hero this time, and there's a little smirk from Dakota.
Roll some insight.
Oh, a
Yeah,
25.
he is definitely smug about it, and there's definitely more to this story that you can tell he's holding back, but it's not in a bad way or in a someone or himself is might be in danger.
Mhm.
It's just a there's a story, but it's not his to tell. And he kind of just shrugs. Well, hero to someone.
Looks like it. But I would definitely love to hear that tale someday.
Yeah, at DeVillestown, you might be able to.
Mm. Uh,
I mean, I don't think the public's figured the whole of it out just yet, and well, Elle definitely doesn't need that ego hit. Not yet. I want to keep holding it over his head just a bit longer, just a bit longer.
yeah, there's definitely a chuckle at that.
Juby is looking exceptionally smug.
Yeah, Dakota. Yeah, without insight, Dakota say they are definitely more relaxed. They say they're. It's just the fondness has come back to them as they see that smugness.
Mhm. It's a very familiar look on his face.
Mhm. I miss that look.
He There's a definite blink and kind of a sheepish rubbing at the back of his neck. Uh, well, I suppose you're stuck with it being around. I Yeah, I'm definitely not going anywhere for a bit.
Yeah, and I'm not letting you go anywhere for a bit. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'd certainly hope not. I I don't want that to happen again. It's bad. And
that is an understatement. That's actually probably the
yeah,
understatement of the year. And
he
yeah,
does definitely wince a bit because yeah, he was definitely understating it.
yeah, and Dakota knows that. And just looks at him deadpanned.
Look, I mean, I could say it in full, but I think you have enough on your plate and you don't need to hear it in full.
I mean, probably, but he just really scared me. And again, I don't have many good things in this life left.
Well, I'm going to say that as far as I'm aware, what happened is not going to repeat itself, and I am assuredly not going to let it repeat itself.
Good. Glad.
Mhm.
And if I have anything to do with it, I'll also make sure nothing like that happens too, because you're stuck with me.
Oh no, the horror.
There's a playful jab at GB's side.
Yeah, it only makes him laugh harder. Yeah, same. You're stuck with me too. I am not going anywhere again. Certainly nowhere the lot of you can't follow me.
Good. I say, yeah, I don't want to see any more white in that hair.
Well, yeah, 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 I don't. Um, Juby, my dear, you need to make a roll. You need to make a certain roll here. Gotta do two.
Mm.
Oh, that's fitting. Yep. Oof.
Mhm.
Ow. Oh no. Um, he's definitely rambling for a bit and is about to like say something on it, but he stops. Like he pointedly stops and gets a bit of a puzzled look on his face. Like he knows, you can definitely tell he knows why the streak is there and what it means. But again, I'm not making you roll because that's a really low. That was a 4 on both counts. He doesn't seem to know why he knows that. And he goes a bit pale at that moment. And the crow does peck at his shoulder a little harshly and he goes, "Ow." But it snaps him out of it enough that he realizes he went very quiet and very still for a little too long.
Yeah, Dakota would definitely like scoot closer and try to shake him a bit too.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm sorry. No,
Yeah,
I
don't.
shouldn't have mentioned it. Sorry. It hits a little bit too close to home for me.
No, okay. No, seems to have just slipped my mind for the moment. Um, I'm sure I'll remember this later. Uh, Sorry, it hit close to home for you. Have you seen things like this before?
Want to make an insight on Dakota? It's not a high DC.
Let's see. Yeah, he's a little shaky. That's a 7.
Roll with advantage. Dakota's not hiding this.
Sure. Juby, come on, get those roll. Oh, that's a 9. Yeah. Oh, he's shaken up. Oof.
He's shaken up, and you get yeah. Even with a 9, even with the seven, it's just like yeah. Dakota's. You get the feeling that maybe Dakota had a similar experience.
And that is noted and immediately concerning. And you can definitely see his face drop into that concern. Like, what do you mean? What? Hold up. What? Run that by me again? What do you mean? You had something like this, and he points to the hair streak and is Dakota?
Dakota looks away and actually goes for their arm and say they have like little sort of not gauntlets, but I don't know what they're called. I know
Bracer?
bracer. That's what it was. And like
Mhm.
takes off their metal bracer because hey, they got some new armor lately. That's sort of fun and fancy. That's half plate, but
Nice.
they take off their bracer and it shows only a little bit on their hand, but as they take off the bracer, lift up their sleeves, of course there's marks on their arm, but they also see like a very larger streak of what looked to be the vitiligo. I still don't know how to say that correctly. On their skin,
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
wider part of the skin, and they sort of lift their arm up to Juby to take a closer look at it.
And he will. Just eyebrows furrowed by his glasses, like seeing this.
Yeah.
So, would
Dakota,
he
as
know what happened?
yeah, you can I'll give this to you. Say because he's saying it right out because this is an extremely subtle thing. Like you would never recognize this before as as you look closer to the marks on their skin, you could tell that, hey, that whiteness of their skin looks a bit unnatural, very extremely close up, and there is actually a small outline to those white marks, similar to a tune.
He pause. Can I have him roll something to get a closer idea on what the heck
Yes, you
went on?
can.
What would that be?
You could
Medicine?
you could possibly roll Arcana.
Okay. Arcana's the one?
I think I say Arcana is the one, since this is magical.
Fair enough. Juby is, not particularly smart, but maybe the dice will be nice. Please. Nope. Dice parser says 9 and only 9.
Dang
But
it.
fitting, he has not seen anything like this, deeply unsettled by it. What happened here?
Dakota looks away. It,
Dakota, what happened here?
I mean, it happened multiple times, mainly when I was a child. But you know how you're familiar with Rangers, right? And you've heard of Beastmaster Rangers.
Kind of seesaws his hand back and forth, looks, not thrilled about it, but he does know.
You know
Yeah.
how sometimes their beasts come in the form of a spirit that helps them out. And well, they and no matter what happens, even if they were originally not a spirit before they partner with their master, they usually have some sort of mark to basically they're very connected by magic. It's not exactly natural when a real kind makes kind of like a pact with a Toonkind, well, and they look at Philip.
Hmm. Kind of looks over to the crow, and the crow seems very interested in this right now. Seems very invested with that same. This is definitely it's an animal, but there is a lot more intelligence to it than
Mm-hmm.
there should be.
Yeah.
Particularly with this one. Like you I'm not going to have Dakota roll anything because Dakota definitely remembers the chaos that was this flock of crows.
Mm-hmm.
But this one then too. There is something very wise and very old to this crow, and it does not look thrilled by what it's seeing and hearing. It's not upset at Dakota and Philip at all in any way. It's mirroring a lot of Jubilee's own concern. So you mean to tell me that because you and Philip uh teamed up with your ranger thing, this happened?
Only when he dies.
There is a definite pause, and a lot of the color drains away from Jubilee. Not literally, thankfully, but it is even his whole palette does seem to gray out a bit, though, with that sinking realization
Yep.
as he looks at Philip and back at Dakota and back at Philip and like Looks at the crow for a bit too.
Yeah, Dakota is not looking at Jubilee. He's like, yeah, made. I mean, made a lot of mistakes when I was a kid. I had to learn how to fight on my own, and a lot of times Philip had to protect me. And thanks to the soul bond between our particular bond, like union as a this Beastmaster Ranger, every time he dies, and when I bring him back to life, lose a little bit of my humanity. I slowly become a Toon.
Well, I have a few questions. A few. Just a few. Um, well, and he is very definitely really unsettled with this knowledge. And roll some insight. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, that's 24. Jubilee did not realize that that was a thing that with Rangers
Dakota shakes their.
because
Sorry, you go.
no, you can tell as he keeps like looking at the crow, almost like he's looking at it for answers, but he definitely can't talk to it, but he's definitely familiar enough to understand it and it knows what he's like looking at it for and it has shaken its head a few times.
Yeah.
You can probably tell these crows don't die, and he is completely surprised by the fact that a ranger's companion animal
Mhm.
could, and is deeply unsettled by that. Even not so much with the becoming a tune because he himself is a tune, and being a tune is pretty cool. He likes to think it's pretty cool. It's all he's known. But it's the fact that yeah, the fact that Philip can die is what's really getting to him. The fact that someone would, even kill a tune is let alone someone who was with a child is not good at all, to put it lightly.
Yeah, Dakota is. They honestly look a little bit older realize than they probably realize right now. It's just like there's this somber look to them. It's like, yeah, I'm not originally from Inkwell. I was born outside of it, and well, not many people get tunes. And so when danger came a knockin', he protected me. I don't like sharing this, and I honestly would like you to keep it to yourself because
Yeah, absolutely no question about that. I understand the value of a secret.
yeah, it's just I say I made this pack so I could protect myself, and I know what it costs. And I he hasn't died in years now. God, so long. Like I have gotten better with training and everything. Say he hasn't died in almost a millennia, but not millennia, century I think it's called. Less than 10. He hasn't done it in more than 10 years.
Yeah, that startles a laugh out of Jubilee because just I'm a decade, my friend.
Decade. Sorry.
If we're not millennia is Raven's scale, not I certainly hope you're not as old as he is.
No, no, only 16.
Looks at Philip like, I hope you're not as old as my father.
There's a little smirk that comes from Philip.
I really hope you're not. That's old. Ugh. Ancient. Wow. This
Phil,
horse is dust.
Dakota just laughs and elbows Philip. Stop joking with him.
Yeah. Oof. It's a moment of lightness, but yeah, he does get serious again after that and like, yeah, try and try and keep it that way. I mean, I personally don't mind being a tune, and I do think it's a lot of fun being a tune. The real kind I've met have been a bit stuck with things. Well, Arya's all right. Arya's pretty all right. So's Karis. Hmm. So I've met a few. They're good. Majority of the ones I've met have been a bit boring or just pricks. So I do happen to be predisposed to the chaos of it, but I'd think being turned into something you're not because of the death of a dear friend is most certainly not that's not a price anybody should be paying.
Uh, yeah. I say we protect our own, but we try not to be in much danger as we can for obvious reasons. And
Yeah, thankfully things that are certainly that bad, I mean, with the exception of my own ill-begotten plot,
yeah,
certainly hope nothing like that's coming around here.
yeah.
Not in Inkwell.
Mhm. Also, do you want to roll another insight for me?
Yeah, let's roll. Juby, have you finally shaken off that funk? Yep, that's a nat 20.
Yeah, definitely for sure. It's extremely subtle, but also there's one, but you clock it immediately. But,
Mm,
but yeah, there's something Dakota's also not telling you.
mm-hmm. In that he's looking very closely. And he particularly looks at Philip. And it wouldn't be hard for Philip to know that Jubilee knows that Dakota's not telling him something. But he's looking to Philip to see if this is something he should ask,
Daco-
or if it's a don't ask about this right now kind of thing.
Philip is not exactly looking at, say, Jubilee, but he does give a slight glance over and gives a little nod.
Yeah. So there is a nudge to Dakota's side. You know, I think you'd remember a bit from the fact that I am a skilled gambler, and part of that is knowing how to read people, Dakota. I kinda know when people aren't telling me things.
It's something that isn't there. It's nothing that you probably want to hear.
Well, there's a lot of things that I don't want to hear, like, oh, the ice cream machine is broke. That one, really, I don't want to ever hear that because that's one of the worst things to hear. That sucks. But there's a lot of things that I need to hear, and I think this might be one of them.
Dakota sighs. It's not gonna happen, at least. Hopefully, when I'm not alive, I'm gonna do my best for this to never to happen. But if it comes to a point where, well, they look at their white marks, if I basically come totally white and in the process of turning into a tune, it isn't a guarantee, but it isn't also a guarantee not to. That there may be a chance during that process, if it ever does happen, I lose my memories.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, that's fine. He's holding it together. But there is a frown there and some thought. Okay. Well, that is not comforting, but well, we're gonna hope that things don't get to that point.
Yeah, and I
I
don't
mean,
want ever to get to that point, especially not now.
yeah, yeah, no, no, and I mean, Philip, I mean this in the best way. You're a prick, but I definitely don't want that to be happening to you anywhere near off
Yeah,
that all to happen.
yeah. Philip gives a nod at that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just I knew that price, that possibility when I made this pact, but at the time, I kind of wanted it to happen. But that's a different topic for a different time. It's just you've seen,
Understandable.
yeah, and they put down their long sleeves and put on their bracer again.
For what it's worth, even if it does happen, you're still very likely going to have everyone who you're connected to now. I found people are a lot, the ones that matter turn out to be frustratingly loyal.
Yeah,
They'll even track you down across the continent.
Dakota gives a little smile at that. I'll track you down anywhere.
Yeah, well, there's a few places you shouldn't be following me, let's be honest. There's a few places where you're definitely not allowed inside.
Oh.
You got to go into the dream casino, kid. You don't get to go in.
I don't know. If I had to, I'd follow you in.
Mm, and he hems and haws about it and being over exaggerated. But he definitely believes that Dakota would follow. Yeah, let's shelve that for another time. We're gonna shelve that one.
Yeah,
But all right.
yeah. I'm just glad I could that I could find you again. Honestly, I thought I was chasing a ghost.
Yeah, no such luck with that one. I am here to cause many more problems.
Yeah, and I'm glad these crows follow you. Otherwise, I probably would never found you. And
There is a
they,
look towards the crow.
yeah, and Dakota just smiles as she gives the crow more scritches.
Hmm. The crow is wholly shameless about this. It regrets nothing. It is very happily getting scritches. Mhm. Yeah, I told about them being little snitches. I just thought it was to Raven, but it seems to you lot as well. Hmm.
Yeah, though I am glad to hear that my assumptions on Raven were wrong, and hopefully I can get to know you, little murder of crows, as she continues to give scritches.
Mhm. Mm. The crow does. This is a happy fluff. It is definitely a happy fluff. This is not angry fluff when it does. It shakes itself a little bit and poofs up and seems quite proud of itself.
Yeah, you've been doing a good job keeping an eye on him, aren't you?
Oh, don't enable it, please. Please don't. This one's ugh. It's
Yeah,
apparently my
you're a smart
self-proclaimed
little
babysitter.
essay. Yeah, you're a smart little one, right? Is no, she is totally egging on. She's totally giving this crow attention, just to maybe spite Juby just a teeny bit.
Yeah, the crow is very smug. It knows what's going on here. It is very, very, very smug and is hamming it up. Like, okay, all right, fine. I know you have favorites. Okay, both of you. Ugh. Yeah, there's ways to find me if you need me.
Yeah,
Letters also work. Letters work and they don't feed that one's ego.
I don't know. He is pretty cute.
They're spoiled enough as is.
Now spoil them more. You know how much I like animals.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. And the crow does, like, nuzzle up against Dakota's cheek.
Aw, just a sweetie,
Mhm,
aren't you? And she gives a little nuzzle back. Even a
mhm.
little kiss on the head if they let him.
Yes, the bird absolutely allows this. And Juby is huffing and grumbling, but it is definitely good-natured. He is just kicking up a fuss for the sake of kicking up a fuss.
I'm curious if your siblings are just like you.
Uh, well, um, a bit in different ways. I mean, well, vintage holds the brain cell. I'll say that much.
I see.
Yeah, vintage holds the brain cell. I think that's all I need to say. And
I say, what about the two younger ones? Are they little gamblers like you?
oh, thankfully. No, no, no. Leo is far more polite. He's polite. He's barista. He's a good kid. Um, Timmy's not a gambler, but well, Timmy is a little shit. And it is said with the fondest exasperation and annoyance possible. This is very you can definitely tell those two. For the fact that Juby said they weren't getting along, Juby is very, very fond of that kid.
Dakota smiles at that.
Mm.
Say, does he work anywhere? So maybe I can maybe I can see him sometime.
And there's a look sent to the crow, actually, and kind of a squint at it, and the bird doesn't just looks back at him, and there's a beat, and it's like, oh god, does Timmy not have a job? What do you. Oh no. How. What? Does he do things? I don't know. Oh, Peck, I don't know if he does. I know he has some place to stay that's fine, at least in one location. I don't know if he's going to leave there. He probably is going to leave there. Um, hmm, I'll have to ask.
Hmm. Anyway, I can track him down.
Follow storms. They
Storm.
tend to be around wherever he is.
Storms, eh? Hmm.
Mhm.
Might become a storm chaser soon. The other one you said is a barista?
Yeah, Painted Lady Cafe in Villestown.
Dakota nods that. And vintage?
Ugh, you don't find vintage. Vintage finds you.
Dakota gives a cock of the eyebrow at that.
It is completely serious, and he wholly believes what he's saying. It's a I don't know how to find him. He pops up kind of thing.
Hmm.
He's out there. doing something. He's doing his thing. He comes and goes a lot.
Similar to you.
Yeah, I guess I took a page out of his book.
Dakota again smiles at that. Well, you may be a good challenge for me if I can track you down. See if I can track the untrackable.
Uh, I wish you luck. It would be funny. But then again, I'd be a bit frustrated if you outdid me. And there's a bit of a glint of challenge to those glasses of his.
Yeah, there's no need for insight. Yeah, there's a glinted challenge from Dakota too. I don't know.
Oh, well. Perhaps I'll just send a letter ahead so he knows someone's coming looking.
Aw, don't make it easy on me.
No, that's honestly, that's the opposite of easy. He knows you're coming well. And just leaves it at that.
Wait,
Up to the imagination.
yeah. Say Dakota again smiles. Their their the mood has definitely changed, and they feel a little bit more warmly.
Mhm.
Well, remember that. I'll have to visit your siblings.
Sure. I know at least the younger two definitely need some more friends.
uh,
I mean that in a nice way. Oh goodness. No, they're good. They're good kids. People should know them.
yeah, and it'd be nice getting some new friends. And Philip is just like, wow, is just like nodding his head very exaggeratingly. He's like, "Yep, this teenager needs more friends." And Dakota pushes their head away. He's like, "Hush, you."
No, I agree with the horse. It's good. You want big network connections. It's helpful for more than you realize.
Yeah, it's just hard when you haven't really had a lot of connections and didn't really need them per se. It's just hard when you feel when you basically been broken for a long time.
Yeah. Let me give you some advice. As someone who thought it was a good idea to burn every bridge before it could be built, people are going to still try and build bridges, and it's worth it to help them. Even if you don't think you need it or don't think you're worth it, or that you're only going to cause them trouble. It's far better to cause those people trouble than to try and face it on your own.
Dakota is a bit silent at that, but eventually gives a nod. Yeah, I'll learn from you, so I don't make your mistakes.
Yeah, see, that's the point I try and make, you know? I'm the bad example. If I'm doing something, don't do it.
I don't know. Sometimes what you do is a little bit fun.
Eh, again, fun things, different category. We'll work on it. I'll make a list.
I think I remember last time, during our last little kerfuffle, that you mentioned me becoming a rogue.
Yeah, perhaps. You were quite sneaky. It was you did a good job.
Fair, but they look around the camp, and they're just like, you're terrible at making camps.
Yeah, I am. I know.
And you're a son to the raven, and you don't know how to make a camp. And they joke a little bit, like nudging them a little bit before getting up and starting to fix the camp.
Yeah. And the crow is definitely squawking like it is laughing at him. It's like, I wasn't good at the outdoors thing. I haven't. I asked Vinny to help me. He told me something. But it's just,
Come on, I'm gonna teach you some things now.
all right, all right. I'm coming. He gets up and dusts himself off. And I think we can begin to fade out there
Mm-hmm.
as Dakota, however patiently they do, begins to teach Juby a little bit more about how to properly have a campsite instead of the chaotic sprawl he's made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Though whatever time Dakota eventually leaves, probably spend say depending on the time of day it was when they arrived, probably spend the night before taking off in the morning. They do actually like go. They actually do try to get the crow's attention and give a little private time between them and the crow.
That can happen.
Yeah,
Not
Dakota.
too hard now that it knows it can trust them.
Mm, yeah, they remember what Jubilee said about Raven and meeting us. Them. He's like, tell Raven to be patient. And say, like you probably know, a lot happened to him, and trusting, I know that he probably knows, but sometimes scars take a while to heal. And I don't know. Maybe come, maybe come give me updates too. If he starts going on the wrong path, I'll set him straight. All right?
Bird definitely nods its head. And is Dakota using speak with animal?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
This bird speaks in a voice you might not expect. Because for how mischievous it was, Juby said it was old, but this bird sounds old. And something a little off-putting because its voice almost seems to echo a bit too when it says, "He knows, and we're being patient. We just wanted to make sure he was safe."
Dakota gives a nod that. Yeah. Same here.
And at that point, there's probably a clatter back from the campsite away. It is the morning, and Juby has places to be, and Crow gives a fond huff of a breath and ruffles its feathers a bit and wishes Dakota luck before fluttering back over to observe the mess.
Dakota, Dakota smiles. Dakota smiles at that. You, you too. May I say, don't be a stranger and say hello.
There's, yeah, the bird knows. And Juby looks back over, just, you know, he may have dropped several things all at once.
Yeah. Do you need any help, Jimmy, before I go?
It's fine, I've got it.
Are you sure?
Yep,
Are you really sure?
yep, it's good, it's fine, I'm great, fantastic. You can go. Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll see you later.
Yep. See you, Dakota.
See you,
Again, Philip, take care of them.
say Philip when he's a native. Yeah, of course I will.
Hmm.
Dakota smiles and then slowly paces back as they take off.
Yeah. And I believe we can call that a wrap.
Indeed.
Yay, they've met again. Good things,
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, and also thank you all for listening in for now and the future. I hope you
Yep,
have a
yep.
good time. So, bye.
Bye bye.